Mericka, a country of peace and freedom, yet it has many, many armored vehicles in the Armory. In this series, I want to talk about many of them. This is Made in Mericka. All of these events, places, unless stated it isn't, and vehicles are all entirely fictional and made up. None of this is real, and that's the fun of it. I'm here to discuss with you all my fictional vehicles from this country, but before we can do so, we must first talk about the country that they are from, Mericka. In this episode of Made in Mericka, I'll talk about Mericka and the world of this timeline. So strap in, folks, grab a drink and some snacks because this video will be slightly longer. The history of Mericka. While I have a lot of lore written for this country, I only really have the time period of 1900 up until present day. So, our story starts in 1914. Archduke Ferdinand has been assassinated and World War I has broken out. World War I. Mericka didn't have much of an impact on World War I. The Germans tried to invade them because they were allied with the Triple Entente, although not in it. Said invasion failed miserably, and they didn't even make it 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles, onto American soil. World War II. During World War II, they had a bigger impact. They already had bad relations with Germany since 1935, when a certain painter took control of Germany. When the war broke out, they, along with Britain and France, declared war on Germany. They actually sent a few forces into Poland, along with a few of the light tank 1 tanks, which we will go into further detail in episode 3. After Poland fell, they got their forces the heck out of there. Our story goes on in 1941, Operation Barbarossa, the German invasion of the USSR. The Americans, although not having the best relations with the USSR, fought alongside them and helped push the Germans out of the country, although they did not help in the offensive. They did, however, partake in the Battle of Berlin to let out their full hatred. The first tank from the Allied side that wasn't Soviet came from the Americans, the EFV-00.16, which we will also cover in this series. The Cold War. The Cold War saw one major conflict that the Americans partook in, the American-Korean War. No, I did not rip off the Korean War. The name Korea comes from the already fictional country of Ossia from the Ace Combat series. Please do not blame me for this. A war of revenge. The build-up to the war involved many Korean terror attacks on Americans, such as derailing a train with said train crashing into a corner store, blocking a railway switch, resulting in one of the worst accidents of the country, blowing up a major harbor. These are only some of the many attacks, as there were a lot of smaller, rather minor ones. In 1960, the Americans were fed up with the Koreans and declared war. The next week, the Koreans were rudely awakened by the sound of tanks and planes invading their country. Revenge had come. The war took many lives. There were too many casualties to count, and there was never an official casualty count. But estimates say there were around 2 million deaths, both military and civilian. If this sounds interesting to you and you would like for me to go more in-depth into this war, tell me in the comments. The year 2000 to the present. In the current decade, there isn't much to say about Mericka and its history. They did, however, partake in Operation Starstorm, the Starlandian and American raid of the Blitzlandic sea vessel of the Graf class, in the Cantalian desert Chidonia, at that time a puppet state of Blitzland. What the fuck did I just say? It seems I forgot to mention that I don't own this alternate universe alone. I own it with an ex-classmate and friend. Let's just call him Fred. Fred and I often exchange new info about what our countries do, although, if I remember correctly, this alternate universe is 1 or 2 years behind our world. So in Mericka, Christmas of 2024 is yet to be celebrated. If you would like me to also go in depth on this, tell me in the comments. And that pretty much wraps up our history lesson about Mericka. But before I end this video, I'd like to tell you a bit about its geography. The capital of the American Democratic Republic is the city of Watson, with the river Watt flowing through it and into the Watson Bay. It is also the biggest city in terms of population at around 2.5 million people. The tallest mountain of America is Mount Van den Henne, a 1,150-meter tall mountain in the Central Mountain region. America is made up of 10 states, although I only have names for 3 as of now. Watson, a city-state, the Free State of Trafalgar, and the state of Ryburn. And that's all I really have to say about its geography. With all of that said, we can begin talking about vehicles made in Mericka. These episodes will be in no particular order, but we will start with 2 modern vehicles, although I won't tell you which. With all of that said, I'll see you next time on Made in Mericka.